Welcome to Industrial Sage, a free weekly video podcast series all about digital marketing for industrial manufacturers. Hear interviews with your peers and find out how they're solving the same challenges that you might be facing in your own field. Coming to you from the Optimum Production Studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is Industrial Sage.
All right, so in today's episode of Industrial Sage, we're going to talk about how to really prepare your database for a trade show and what that means and why you want to do that. So, trade shows are awesome, and you go there so you can get leads and you can sell more of your product. So making sure that you have a back-end strategy, actually really before you show up to the trade show, and so you can have actions on what you're going to do before, during, and after is really going to help you set up for success. So the first thing, one thing I really recommend is, again, having a strategy on what you're going to do with that. What kind of information do you want to capture? How are you going to follow up with people on the back end? And then how are you going to store that? So we'll start with the first thing. If you don't have a CRM, so a customer relationship management tool, you've heard it like Salesforce. I'm not saying that's what you have to have. That's probably one of the most notable ones. But if you don't have something like that, you really want to be thinking about it. Even if you don't, okay, we need to have one single repository. So like an Excel spreadsheet or something where all of these leads are going to be able to go to. And you're making sure that you know exactly all the different types of information you want to capture and that you have that there and you have an easy access to it. Again, a CRM tool is honestly, it's so cheap now. I mean, you don't have to use a Salesforce. You can use there's several other different things that you can use. There's really no reason why you shouldn't be doing that. It's really going to make your life a lot easier. So think about doing that. Of course, there's always these other, crazy or higher end things, marketing automation platforms like your Hubspot and Pardot, Marketo. There's a million out there. Those are really going to be able to help sort of simplify that process. But again, know what information you want to capture and then have somewhere to be able to put it and actually put it somewhere. Don't have it written down somewhere and then somebody takes it and then they print it out on this thing and then it's in someone's drawer that nobody has access to. Make sure you put it into a CRM database that's accessible, right? That's the first thing you're going to want to do. The next thing, simplify the data entry. What does that mean? All right, so there's a couple different ways of being able to do this. A lot of the trade shows now, they got this little, they got little scanners so you can scan your badges and so the attendees' information gets automatically pulled into some sort of system. What you can do is, if you're a little bit more sophisticated, you've got a CRM type tool, make sure you have that integrated so that when you scan that someone's badge, that it's automatically going back to your Salesforce instance and you're collecting that data there. Other ways of doing that, if you don't have that or you're not doing that, is having a little tablet. So it could be an iPad, it could be one of those I think even don't quote me on this, but a Kindle Fire or something. It has that ability where you can have a form kind of built into it or just a way of being able to capture that data. So if you're talking with somebody, you can, put their information right in there and you've got it. Because, look, we're spending a lot of money, a ton of money, and an investment on really showing up at these trade shows. Make sure that you capture these lead data and then it's reliable. Don't just say, hey, we're here and it's just a whole brand awareness thing and that's it. Get that data and use that system. So another thing is, kiosks. I mean, you guys have seen that. Use those in some form or fashion. The technology is cheap. It's easy. You just got to think about it strategically on how to integrate it, whether it's simply going to a CSV or Excel file, going to a Google Sheet, it's super easy to connect, or more sophisticated to a marketing automation or a CRM type tool. So the next thing you want to be thinking about is automation. How can you automate all this process a little bit better? And let's think about the flow here for a second. So you've got somebody that comes in, you get their information, that goes to a database. The next thing you want to think about, how can we automate a message that goes back to them? So be thinking about emails, some sort of email campaign or sending information that can automatically be sent to that person. Again, this is a super easy thing that you can do using off-the-shelf tools like a MailChimp or Constant Contact. Again, if you have more sophisticated marketing automation platforms like a HubSpot or Marketo or Pardot, all those, that's like naturally, that's like what they do. So, what I recommend is you get somebody's information and it goes into your CRM database and then an email or a series of emails, drip campaign or what have you, boom, gets sent out to that person. And you know what? Do it like day of. So imagine you've got somebody that comes in and you meet them, you talk to them, and it could just be a really, really simple message that just goes out and says, hey, Joe Bob, really enjoyed meeting you today at the show and looking forward to future conversations. Just something really simple. That way you're able to start that conversation. And then when you get back, a week later or whatever, hopefully you have some sort of other email campaign, a drip campaign or a follow-up procedure that you can send and you can continue on that conversation. So having all these tools really help do that. Again, even if you're using an Excel spreadsheet, fine. Have a manual process so that you take all those leads, and then when you get back, boom, go ahead and start emailing those people out and go from there. So that'll really, really help to make sure that the investment that you've made in these trade shows, which believe me, I know can be really, really expensive, you're really maximizing that value. Don't let those people, particularly the ones who are not ready to buy, go away. They're interested in your product. Continue on that conversation. Use content, whether it's a blog or webinars or different things. Continue that conversation. So thanks again for watching this episode of Industrial Sage. If you have any other questions, we'd love to answer them for you. You can send us your questions at industrialsage.com/questions. And thanks again for watching. I'm Danny Gonzalez, and this is Industrial Sage.